always been a very relaxed, calm person. I know what I have to do on track. Doesn't matter at the end of the day where we'll end up. So far, you are having a great battle. Sit back, relax, and do your thing on track.
Max Verstappen's growing presence and influence in sim racing has given those close to the Red Bull Formula One star an insight into his incredible driving ability that is, quote, almost impossible to imitate. Max Verstappen is only 21 years old and has already made his mark in Formula One racing. Ever since his debut, he has been an unbelievable personality in Formula One. Breaking records seems to come effortlessly to this Formula One wonderkind as the teenage racing driver rewrote the history books at just 17 years old whenever he made his first appearance as the youngest ever Formula One driver at the Australia 2015 Grand Prix. A year later, he ended up breaking yet another record, becoming the youngest driver to win a Formula One World Championship race at the Spanish Grand Prix. So, why is Max Verstappen so good in F1 and consistently impresses with his risk-taking driving style and skillful recoveries? Well, in this video, we're going to be looking into the reasons why, but firstly, I would like to ask you to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel if you do like this type of content. Plus, ding that notification bell so you're always kept up to date on the latest stuff we put out there. Racecraft. Verstappen has always been known as a driver skilled in executing a race well. However, he has significantly improved that game during his time in F1 to the point where he's very close to Hamilton's level as well as intensity on Sundays. Similar to Hamilton, he's capable of overturning a pace deficit as well as pulling off overtaking moves at decisive moments in the race. So he's gone from strength to strength. There was moments in where he was perhaps panicking or maybe being impatient during the moments in a race, but he's tempered that. Nowadays, as team principal Christian Horner once said, quote, when you see Max in your mirrors, it feels like a question of when rather than if he will pass you. Max has become more measured, not losing aggression, but gaining patience and still having the capability to pull off a crucial move. In the aspect of wheel-to-wheel racing, Max always finds himself in the right place. That's just pure instinct. Arguably, he might even have surpassed Hamilton on that score. Yes, we probably need to see a few more seasons play out to be sure of that. Max has also learned how to make sure that he doesn't ask too much of his opponent when passing, although there are some instances where his decision isn't perfect. Like where, for example, he put his car at the beginning at Spa last year, but typically he achieves the perfect combination of precision and aggression. We also had observed one of his greatest strengths was revealed as soon as he moved to Red Bull. Max winning in Spain on a 2-stop plan on his first appearance with the team. He did put a lot of effort into being able to understand tire management style while at Toro Rosso, and he executed that race brilliantly. He's built on it over the years. In that same race, he also needed intelligent management of the battery power, which was under pressure from Kimi Räikkönen, and it showed Max does have the capacity to critically think through what he's required to do in order to obtain the result. He has the spare ability that great drivers have. Defensively, Max was culpable in the early days of his career of being overly aggressive and steering around in braking zones. We also witnessed his famous move on Räikkönen on the Kimmel Straight Spa back in 2016, but he's since restricted that now. What's obvious is he's not been overawed by anybody. Go right back to his debut in 2015, and he was able to race with the big guns at the USGP. Max knows that he belongs at the front in F1, and he is equipped for that his whole life. Technical ability. Verstappen has a good understanding and grasp of the dynamics of driving and has the ability to translate that into producing precise and strong feedback to the team. Time and time again, we do hear him complaining over the radio, but that just goes to show his sensitivity.
Mate, that was just perfect. Nothing more to say than that.
Yeah, unbelievable. And the car was on fire today. So nice to drive. Unbelievable. Thank you very much.
Max's clear-headedness extends to his understanding of what the car is doing and how clear his communication is with his race engineer. His answers are consistently clear and succinct, and that does give his engineer accuracy in what is required from the driver. It's a good balance, and that clearly helps Max to be consistently and relentlessly fast. Red Bull plays a big role in this as well. This was the same team that got the best out of Sebastian Vettel, who has found it difficult to recreate his form in the Ferrari environment where he's been left to discover his own way. It needs both sides to put in the work to build that relationship. Verstappen also has gained from being elevated into becoming Red Bull's undisputed #1. Max, well, he's the future of the team, and is also the driver those in the team gravitate towards. Mental strength. Mental strength is vital for anyone in any elite sports, and at 22, you maybe expect Verstappen not to be as strong here whenever comparing him to somebody like that of a much more established career, like Hamilton. Make those changes. Today, he's better for it. Also, Red Bull, through that phase, did try to help him stand on his own 2 feet and become more independent. Now, the only question is how he stands up to the challenge of a world championship fight, which is very different to sniping for the usual odd win. A title battle will be entire life. Max also does have the benefit of being able to learn from his father's mistakes. Joss has spoken about trying to show Max the guidance that he had lacked after what was eventually the failure of his own promising career, and that implies he is different to the regular average driver. No driver known on the grid has that type of grounding, not even Hamilton with his McLaren training. Max started karting at a very young age, but also, it wasn't just about winning, it was also about learning. Alongside the usual categories, Max raced in shifter karts and won the World Championship when he went up against guys with huge levels of experience. Throughout his career, he avoided taking the easy route and confronted new challenges, so at 22, he's almost certainly reached a point that it would take other drivers another 5 years to attain. Joss once stated that in karting, he used to avoid putting oil on the clutch so as to improve the start, and that way Max would be required to do more work. He had to wrestle his way around, and that shows his mentality. It wasn't just about winning, it was about winning the hard way and learning your art. That's how Max's underlying ability was polished and was bred into the driver that he is now. In those regards, Max is the ultimate experiment in what happens when you merge nurture with nature, and this is why he's so driven to demand more from himself.